Have you ever wondered about the drawbacks of living in a 55 and older community? Well, my wife and I recently moved to one, and I can honestly say there are a lot of good things about it, but there are some bad things too. So in this video, I'll share with you 5 disadvantages of living in a 55 and older community. Hi, my name is Casey and I'm a local realtor. And on this channel, I share information about the 55 and older communities of Trilogy, Glen Ivy, and the community of Terramor here in Corona. So if you think this is something you might find helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like and the subscribe buttons below. Okay, so when I first started this channel, I made a video about the top 4 disadvantages of living in a 55 and older community. And if you haven't seen this video, I'll put a link at the top of the screen. But the responses to this video made it very clear that people either really love these types of communities or they really hated them. And after living in our community for about a year and a half now, I do have a few more disadvantages to share with you. So let's jump in and I'll go over 5 additional disadvantages of living in a 55 and older community. Number 1, limitations on resale market. As I mentioned before, the reality is it can be more difficult to sell a home in a 55 and older community because of the age restriction on the community. And this simply means that the pool of potential buyers is smaller because the buyer has to be 55 years or older in order to purchase a home here. And because of this, it's very common for homes to take longer to sell when compared with similar homes in a regular neighborhood. And it is more difficult to hold open houses in a gated community too. Buyers can't just drive into a gated community to see a home, and most HOAs don't like agents posting the access codes online for obvious reasons. But open houses are a popular way to get exposure for your home. And lastly, most states have put restrictions on marketing homes to people based on their age or demographics. So an agent can't target their marketing efforts specifically to people in the 55 and older age group, even though the buyer has to meet the age requirement to buy a home here. Now you'd think there'd be an exemption for senior communities, but there's not. So again, it just makes it more difficult to advertise these homes to the right people. But all of these things make it more difficult to sell a home in a senior community. Number 2, there are additional fees. Not everything in a 55 and older community is included in your HOA fee. And as most people know, one of the biggest benefits of these communities is the amenities. And your monthly HOA fee does provide access to use the basic amenities, but there can be additional costs for some things. Let me give you a few examples. Many 55 and older communities are built around a golf course, but that doesn't mean your HOA fees allow you to play unlimited golf. But most communities do offer a discounted fee for residents that want to play golf. And let's say you sign up for a class at the clubhouse. It's common to pay a small fee for the class, and this could be for materials or supplies needed for the class. And for activities like yoga or water aerobics, there's typically a fee that goes to the instructor for teaching the class. Plus, many of the events and parties hosted at the clubhouse do require you to purchase a ticket to attend, and this could be for food, drinks, or entertainment. But from what I've seen, these fees are usually pretty reasonable. But just keep in mind your monthly HOA fee doesn't cover everything within the community. Number 3, HOA fees are due every month, and this is whether you use the amenities or not. It's important to keep in mind that your basic monthly HOA fee is due at the beginning of each month. And these basic fees aren't based on how much you use the amenities. These monthly HOA fees are used to maintain the facilities, take care of landscaping, and to make repairs when needed. And when most people first move into a 55 and older community, they tend to take advantage of most of them. But over time, just like anything, the excitement fades, and the reality is you might use them less and less. And for people like my wife and I who still work full time, we simply haven't had the time to take advantage of the amenities yet. And we've had several discussions recently about this and how we really haven't used the amenities like we thought we would. It is an additive monthly expense that simply doesn't make sense if we don't start using them more often. But keep in mind, your HOA payment is due every single month. And this can become a very frustrating expense if you're not using the amenities like you thought you would. And this leads us to the next item, which is number 4, HOA fees can increase. Many people don't realize this, but HOA fees can go up. And there's not a cap on these fees either. But when would this happen? Well, let me give you a couple examples. First, let's say the community has a large expense to make to repair or improve the facilities. Typically, an HOA keeps reserves on hand to handle normal repairs and maintenance, but sometimes an unexpected issue could come up, and an HOA may have to raise the fees in order to cover these costs. And another situation I've seen is when a community has a large number of residents who aren't paying their monthly HOA fees. These delinquencies can leave a community in a position to be unable to pay their monthly maintenance bills or expenses. So in order to keep up with these bills, the HOA has to increase these fees on the homeowners paying their fees in order to cover the cost. So to avoid this type of situation, I always recommend that potential buyers look over the HOA documents, especially the financial statements and the delinquency rates. And finally, number 5, buyer remorse or unhappiness. Now this is a big one. And this feeling of unhappiness or remorse really does happen, and probably more than you think. In many cases, people retire and move to a 55 and older community, but this is a huge change from what they're used to. And for some people, they end up moving far away from their family and friends. This can make people feel isolated and alone. And just because you move to an active community, you still have to get out and make friends. And some people are really good at this and others aren't. But even the best communities, not everyone is going to be nice and friendly like you see in the brochure. Some people choose to form smaller groups or cliques, like back in high school, and these groups will pick and choose who they allow in. And not everyone in a community has the same political beliefs or religious beliefs either. And in the world we live in today, these can be topics that cause huge divides between people. And these issues do exist in 55 and older communities just like everywhere else. So it's easy to see why some people are left feeling like, oh my God, what have I done? Why did I move here? But here's my take on that. You have to choose to be happy. And I know it's hard being the new person in a community. You have to really put yourself out there if you want to meet new people. And I know it's uncomfortable to walk into a room full of strangers. And I know because my wife and I have to do it. And trust me, everyone hates this feeling. But I have to say, the vast majority of people in our community have been very welcoming. You just have to know that there's always going to be good and bad, no matter where you decide to live. And I really do believe this applies to every community, not just the 55 and older ones. So if you're considering making a move to a 55 and older community, these are things to keep in mind. These communities can be a great place to call home, but they're definitely not for everyone. And the reality is there are a lot of good alternatives to 55 and older communities out there. There are neighborhoods that offer single-story homes in gated communities with plenty of amenities, but without the age restrictions of a 55 and older community. So if you have any questions about the 55 and older communities here in Corona or the options available in the surrounding areas, just let me know. I'll do my best to answer any questions you have and help you find a place that's a good fit for you.